So good day, ma'am. I am Ana Marie Marsan Pasaol, and I'm going to discuss the background of the study and statement of the problem in Group 7 entitled the outcomes of sudden change of learning system and CTU tertiary students in the academic year 2020 to 2021. So in the background of the study, ma'am, it explains that this pandemic changed the educational platform into online education. Having the online modality learning caused so much challenges to both teachers and students, especially to those teachers and students who live in the low internet connection. So according to Uyedeton 2020, that this pandemic has successfully forced global shutdown of educational activities. So even though there are negative ways that this pandemic has, so for the education, still it have its positive way. So example of that, mom, is that we've learned some technological tools such as the mobile-based learning, computer-based learning, and the web-based learning. So this study, ma'am, also analyzed the current situation and this time of pandemic in the educational purposes. So the reasons why we conducted the study, ma'am, is to fully understand the outcomes of sudden change of learning system. And it's very essential to conduct this study because enable for us to know how the students and teachers cope up with this situation having this pandemic. And so as a learner, mom, I want to learn and I want to know how the students still going for studying and still going to continue their studies in these terms of pandemic. And it's also to learn the outcomes of the pandemic, even though it is positive or a negative way. Also, as a student in CTU main campus, I want to know the students of the first year level on what are their strategies or motivations in life to continue despite in this time of pandemic. And also, I want to know what are the motivations also for the teachers and what are their strategies in teaching education in this time of pandemic and how they have time management for their personal matters. Statement of the problem. So in the statement of the problem, ma'am, we are aiming to examine the sudden change of learning system in CTU tertiary students in the academic year 2020 to 2021. So the study aims to answer the following questions. So first is, what are the profile or personal information of the respondents in terms of age, gender, year level, and program and section? Second questions is, what are the possible effects of the sudden change of learning system in this time of pandemic? First is the physical and mental health crisis. Second is the academic burnout or the negative emotions, frustrations that leads to every student still having the loss of social activities, having the no interest. So next is the self-paced learning, so having the time schedule. Then the easy access to information. So the third question is, what are the effects of this pandemic in the academic achievement and performances? So the fourth question is, based on your own observation and experiences, what intervention can you propose to be able to effectively learn in this module learning?
A pleasant day to you, ma'am. I am Mary Crystal Eglodove, and I'm going to present to you the significance of the study and the scope and the limitations. First, let's have the significance of the study. The significance of the study is to identify relative outcomes of the sudden change of learning system for Cebu Technological University tertiary students during the academic year 2020 to 2021. The result of this study would be able to have significance to the following. First is the school administrators. This study will help them to know the experiences and observations of CTU tertiary students, especially during the academic year 2020 to 2021, so that they can create a better action plan and know how to implement a better learning system. Next is the teachers. The result of the study will help the teachers to guide and advise their students in terms of the new learning system. They can give a better insights in motivating their students when it comes to coping up with the activities, lessons, and exam that enables them to consider different situations of the students. It will also give the teachers to have prior knowledge about the outcomes of the sudden change of learning system. Next is the students. This study will give the students to enlighten their minds about the new way of learning than what they have perceived and understood it before. Students can improve their ability to manage their tasks, exams, activities, and most especially themselves. Next is the researcher. This study will help the researchers to identify the outcomes of new learning system, whether it is beneficial or damaging outcomes regarding the sudden change of learning system, and that could bring awareness to the people. The researcher will gain their specific observation and their experiences in studying despite the educational situation during the pandemic. Lastly, for future researcher, this study will help them informing new research problem that is related to this study and make use of this paper as their source of information or references to make their work credible. This study can help them to know support and arguments in their paper. And that concludes the significance of the study. Let us now move on to the scope and the limitations. This study focuses on the outcomes of the sudden change of learning system for the tertiary students during the academic year 2020 to 2021 in Cebu Technological University, wherein the researcher will conduct a survey using questionnaires to establish the result. Moreover, the said survey questionnaires is composed of set of questions regarding on the outcomes of the sudden shift in the way of learning to evaluate whether it is negative or positive outcomes. The survey will be conducted 50 respondents in each college departments, namely College of Education, College of Engineering, College of Arts and Sciences, College of Technology, College of Computer Information and Communication Technology, College of Management and Entrepreneurship. Additionally, there will be 25 respondents for both day and evening program with a total populations of 300 respondents with the provisions of the participants to answer.
Conceptual framework. So, our study, which is the outcomes of the sudden change in new learning system. So, we put the two outcomes and the sudden change of the new learning system, which is the positive effect and the negative effect. So, let's talk about the positive effect of the sudden change of new learning system. So, the first possible effect, the introductions and expansions of a range of e-learning tools, and the second possible effect, which is it is a flexible when issues of time and place are taken into consideration. Third is we put the the possible effect is the which is enhance the efficacy of knowledge and qualifications via ease of access to the huge amount of information. So that is the positive outcomes or effects of the sudden change of learning of new learning system. So let's talk about the negative effects or outcomes. So first is less likely to engage in collaboration learning, student faculty interactions and discussions with diverse others. And the second is might be the less exposure to effective teaching, the what do you call that practice and lower quality of interactions. And most importantly, this is also the common negative effects of the sudden change of new learning system, because we are in our new normal, we are in online learning. So might be the negative effects may also be subject to piracy, plagiarism, cheating, inadequate selection skills, and inappropriate use of. So, so in our conclusion in conceptual framework, based on the theories, related literatures, and related studies, while it offers concrete evidences to proclaim the sudden change of learning systems results to have a positive and negative consequences or the outcomes. So in the output and conceptual framework, well, we'll be able to explain the function of the new learning systems in specific and how it has made a robust impact in teaching and learning. Definition of terms. So, in our definition of terms, we put 4 words of definition of terms in the study. So, it includes online learning. So, this is the first one we include in our definition of terms in the study. So, when we say online learning, it refers to an internet-based learning environment which can mostly connect students with diverse backgrounds, be promising different perspective mainly. And second is predecessor. So this is very unfamiliar for me. So, and we include this in our definition of terms. So when we say predecessors, a one who precedes, or a one who has preceded another in an or any state's position, office, or etc. So it is one whom another follows or comes after in any office or position. So third is COVID-19. We all know that is very familiar for us, but this word will highlight it in our study also. Well, this COVID-19, we all know that this virus is very very serious disease. It can cause death. When this virus can spread from an infected person's mouth or a nose and a small liquid particles when they cough, sneeze, or speech, or even sing and breathe. And so third is efficacy. So efficacy, it is the ability to perform a task to a satisfactory or expected degree. So the words comes from the same roots as effectiveness, and it has often been used synonymously, although in pharmacology a distinctive or the new often made between efficacy and effectiveness.